will make a genuine sensation. Don't miss this chance, it'll never happen again.
Well, alright. Something in what you say, I suppose. I still consider you a treacherous worm and a contemptible, spineless, cowardly custard. But if I can book this pink bottle, you can stay where you are then. And I hope you get run over by an omnibus.
Take it easy, Tom.
The bags are all prepared, sir.
Oh, thank you, Jeeves.
May I inquire as to our destination, sir?
Where does it matter, Jeeves? When Antagoras is on the warpath, no place is safe.
It is a most delicate situation, sir. May I suggest that...
No, Jeeves, I have to think well in hand. We are going to Brinkley Court.
But will Mrs. Travers not attempt to force upon you the most unpleasant task of distributing the prize?
No, but I've shoved that hop on Gussie. And you see how clever this is, Jeeves. If my Antagoras thinks that I'm still at Cannon, then she'll think Aunt Delia is still at Cannon. It'll be the best place to hide.
Should Mr. Finkdonald decline, sir?
Decline, Jeeves? Can you picture him declining? Scene, the drawing room at Brinkley. Gussie wedged into a corner with Aunt Delia standing over him making hunting noises. I put it to you, Jeeves. Can you picture him declining?
Not readily, sir.
Right, that's settled. Ah, besides, it's been a jolly sight too long since I tasted Anatole's cooking.
Very true, sir.
Be so good as to bring the car around without delay.
Very good, sir.
Yeah, you can't sit there when the bicycle scene comes in the second act. Okay? Live right there, watch it. Oh, here? No, you can't have you should have a snack. Nothing sweet, okay?
Probably a flatfish. Quite harmless. Let that little thing just wanted to play.
You don't know what you're talking about. Why would you? You're a fool and an idiot.
Oh, so that's how it is it? Well, for your information, that new hat you came back with makes you look like a Pekingese.
How dare you! I don't know if you're aware, but if you don't knock off starchy foods and start doing exercises every morning, you'll be as fat as a pig. You're getting a double chin.
I am not fat!
I don't know why I put up with you. Sloppy, overweight, and wrong about everything.
Well, if that's how you feel, then it's up!
What are you saying, Glossop?
What I'm saying is, if she can't find it in herself to see that she exaggerates her stories, then she is not the kind of woman that I want to spend the rest of my life with.
You're breaking your engagement.
What?
Fine, I consider I have made a lucky escape.
Mr. Worcester. What ho, Brinkley Court?
say, what's wrong with Tuppy? Angela?
This young generation is the end of civilization. No idea of decorum, no idea of civility, no idea of anything.
Wasn't something I said.
Thank goodness you've come, Bertie. You've come at just the right moment.
Jolly touched by the warmness of your welcome and all that age relative, but what on earth is going on here?
Young Glossop and Angela had a row.
I see, that's what the hurried departures was all about.
It was. That blasted Glossop called Angela's shark a flatfish.
He did.
He did.
One thing led to another, till there was a loud pop, and the air was full of the mangled fragments of their engagement.
It's enough to drive me to distraction.
I can see why you needed me to rally round.
Yes. Or rather not you, of course, but Jeeves.
If ever in the whole history of human affairs, there was a moment when that great brain of his was needed about the house, this is it.
Jeeves.
Good tight.
I wasn't sneezing, I was being Jeeves.
And well you might. What a man that is. I intend to trust him with the handling of this case.
I ventured to take issue with you, Aunt Edith.
You do you?
Emphatically, Jeeves is hopeless.
What?
Quite hopeless. I object to the way you guys, everyone puts things up to him without letting me have a stab at them first.
Have you and Jeeves had a row? You seem to have it in for him.
No, I may have been compelled to assert my personality in the night of the white mess jacket.
Well, that does not matter. What does matter is that you are talking piffle, you poor fish. Jeeves lost his grip. Absurd. I intend to trust him with the handling of this case.
You would do far better to let me have a stab at it.
I know all about your plans, and I'm sure it's horrid.
My knowledge of human nature.
I don't want to hear a word about your knowledge of human nature.
Just as you say, old flesh and bee.
I am going now to comfort Angela.
Ta-ta.
Don't do anything foolish.
Oh, hello, Bertie.
How much I tell you?
Sorry about rushing out on you like that. It's not that I wasn't happy to see you, it's just... I suppose you heard all about it then? Me and Angela?
I did. Some little friction I gathered in Ray Angela's shark.
Yes. Said it was a flatfish.
So said my Aunt Edith. And if you don't mind me saying so, old man, she felt you might have behaved with a little more tact.
Tact?
Yeah, I must say, Tuppy, old man, I rather agreed with her. Was it nice, Tuppy? Was it quite kind to take the bloom off Angela's shark like that?
What about my side of the thing?
Your side?
You don't suppose I would have exposed this dark synthetic shark for the flatfish it undoubtedly was, had there not been some cause led up to it. Angela, the little squirt, had just been most offensive, and I took the opportunity to get a bit of my own back.
Offensive?
Exceedingly offensive. All on the strength of me having let slide some casual remark as to wondering what Anatole's making for dinner today. She uses to say I was too material and shouldn't be always thinking about food. Material mark elbow. I am, as a matter of fact, particularly spiritual.
What? Well, Tuppy, it still seems a shame that the frail craft of love should come a stinker when a few manly words of contrition would...
You aren't suggesting I should climb down?
It would be the fine thing all day.
I wouldn't dream about climbing down.
But you love her, don't you?
It's not that I don't love little blighter. I love her passionately, but well, it doesn't change the fact that the thing she needs most in this world is a swift tick in the pants.
Oh, I say, Tuppy, where's the fine old chivalrous spirit of the Glossops?
That's all good. Where's the fine old chivalrous spirit of the Glossops? Well, where's the sweet, gentle, womanly spirit of the Angelas, accusing a man of puffing as he goes up a flight of stairs?
Oh, Tuppy, girls will be girls. Go to her and make it up.
I can't do that. It'd be fatal. I know girls. Grovel, and the best of them will get uppish. The only thing I can do is tip her off in some indirect way to show I'm willing to open to negotiations.
I've got it, Tuppy. Don't eat any dinner tonight.
What?
No, don't eat any dinner tonight. That will show Angela that your heart is aching for her. She knows how devoted you are to food.
I am not devoted to food!
No, quite. But, all the same, Angela will see that your heart is aching for her, and she will probably be the first to suggest blowing the all clear.
We'll show him our dinner, eh?
Yes.
A dinner cooked by Anatole.
Yes.
Push it away untasted.
Yes.
All right.
You'll do it?
I will.
Hey.
Of course it'll be in agony.
Oh, only for the nonce. You can slip down after the household has gone to bed and raid the larder.
That's right. I could, couldn't I?
Yes, I expect there will be something cold down there.
There is something cold down there. Steak and kidney pie. We had it for lunch today. One of Anatole's ribs. It'll do me nicely.
Quite.
It's a good idea. One of Jeeves' best. You can tell I'm much obliged.
The suggestion of this scheme I've been sketching out for you is Jeeves.
Of course it is. I know you, Bertie. You wouldn't have thought the weeds locked up in a million years.
Let me tell you one thing, young gossip. Yes, Jeeves?
Excuse me, sir. I have finished unpacking your bags and preparing your room.
Thank you, Jeeves.
Yeah, I'm free a little more brace. I'm going to see if I can't fortify myself before dinner.
Well, Jeeves, it seems like things down here in Brinkley Court in the county of Worcestershire have gotten themselves into a nice mess, what?
Yes, sir. The opinion among the servants is inclined to take a grave view of the situation.
The thought that springs to your mind, no doubt, is that I have my work cut out for me to fix things up.
Yes, sir.
You are wrong, Jeeves.
You surprise me, sir.
I thought I should. Did you just see me in conference with Miss Glossop? Well, we have everything taped out.
Indeed, sir. Might I inquire as...
You know my methods, Jeeves? Apply them. Have you been gnawing on the thing at all?
Oh, yes, sir. I've always been very much attached to Miss Angela, and I felt that it would afford me a great deal of pleasure were I be able to be of service to her.
A laudable sentiment. But I suppose you drew blank?
No, sir. I was rewarded with an idea.
What was it?
It occurred to me that a reconciliation might be effected between Miss Angela and Mr. Glossop by appealing to that instinct which prompts gentlemen in times of peril to hasten to the rescue of...
Good Lord, Jeeves, don't tell me you were thinking of descending to the old he saved her from drowning gag. Really, Jeeves?
No, sir. Not that. But the thought did cross my mind as I walked in the grounds and passed the building where the fire bell hangs, that a sudden alarm of fire in the night might prompt Mr. Glossop to endeavour to assist Miss Angela to safety.
Rotten, Jeeves. Not a bit like it. A bit elaborate. You can see that's your failing, Jeeves. A bit elaborate.
Possibly the plan I have suggested may be open to that criticism, sir, but faute demure,
I don't get you, Jeeves.
a French expression, sir, signifying for want of anything better.
I understand perfectly well what faute demure means, Jeeves. I've not recently spent 2 months among our Gallic neighbours for nothing. What causes my bewilderment is the fact that you should be employing it, well knowing there is no bally faute demure about it at all. Didn't I just tell you I have everything taped out?
If I may take the liberty of reminding you of it, sir, your plans in the past have not always been uniformly successful.
It is true, Jeeves, that possibly once or twice in the past I may have missed the bus, but this I attribute purely to bad luck.
Indeed, sir.
My knowledge of human nature will take care of this.
Indeed, sir.
Jeeves, don't keep saying indeed, sir. You have a way of stressing the in and then coming down with a thud on the deed that makes it virtually tantamount to, oh yeah? Well, as I was saying, I have everything taped out. But you can't tell what steps I have taken.
Very much so, sir.
I've told Tubby not to eat any dinner tonight.
Sir?
Tut, Jeeves, surely even you can follow the idea. Pushing away dinner untasted is a universally recognized sign of love.
Well, sir,
Jeeves, I don't want to always be criticizing your methods of voice production, but in many ways your well, sir, is just as bad as your indeed, sir. After hearing you shoot it at me a couple of times, I get the impression that only a feudal sense of what is fitting restrains you from substituting the words, says you.
Oh, no, sir.
Well, that's what it sounds like. Why don't you like my scheme, Jeeves?
I fear Miss Angela will merely attribute Mr. Glossop's abstinence to indigestion, sir.
Well, we'll just have to see how everything shakes out. Be so good as to lay out my clothes for dinner tonight.
Oh, very good, sir.
And don't forget my white message.
I fear, sir, that I've inadvertently omitted to pack the garment to which you refer.
I know you did, Jeeves, but I didn't. You'll find it in a brown paper parcel in the hall.
Very good, sir.
You have to be looking so cheerful about.
What's the matter, Aunt Delia? You look rather pip.
Just worried about Tom.
Uncle Tom.
I wish you would stop calling him Uncle Tom. Every time you call him Uncle Tom, I expect him to turn black and start playing the banjo. Very shortly, I shall have to tell him about that money I lost at Baccarat in Cannes. And when I do, he'll go off like a rocket.
Still, surely no doubt time the
Time the great deal to be blown. I've got to get a cheque for £500 to my lady's boudoir out of him by October the 3rd at the latest.
And do you think the chances of getting into your uncle by marriage's ribs are slight?
I tell you, Bertie, up till now, whenever these subsidies were required, I was able to come to Tom with the gay, confident spirit of an only child, touching an indulgent father for a chocolate cream. But he's just had a demand from the income tax people for an extra £58, 1 and a threepence. And all he'll talk about now is ruin and a sinister trend of socialistic legislation. And what will become of us all? Civilization's in the melting pot and all that rot. If it weren't for Anatole's cooking, I doubt he'd bother to carry on. Thank God for Anatole, I say.
Good old Anatole.
Amen to that.
Still, I don't see why you need to tell him that you lost that money at Cannes.
What are you suggesting? Should I let my lady's boudoir join civilization in the melting pot?
No, you don't follow me. Simply ask him for the money to pay the printers.
I did, just before I went to Cannes.
Well, didn't he give it to you?
Of course he gave it to me. That was the money I lost at Baccarat.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's much you do know.
Tut.
What did you say?
I said tut.
Bertie, if there is any tutting to be done, I shall attend to it myself. I've enough to endure without being tutted at.
I've got it on dinner. Eat less meat.
Bertie, must you talk drivel?
No, this isn't dribble. This is the real Tabasco. When I say eat less meat, I mean don't eat any dinner tonight. Simply sit there looking blistered and wave away each course as it comes by with a weary gesture of resignation. I am prepared to bet that at the conclusion of the meal, Uncle Tom will come to you and say, "Dearly, darling." I take it he calls you dearly. "Dearly, darling," he said. "I noticed you were looking rather pipped at dinner tonight." "Why, yes, Tom, darling," you will say. "The fact is, Tom, darling, I am terribly worried." "Why, dearly, darling," he will say.
These Travers seem to be a pretty soppy couple of blighters. When are you going to get to the point?
"Dearly, darling," he will say. "Is there anything I could possibly do for you?" To which you will reply that there jolly well is, viz. Reach for his checkbook and start writing.
Why, Bertie, this is positively bright.
I told you Jeeves isn't the only fellow with a brain.
I believe it would work.
Of course it would. I've recommended it to Tuppy, to Swap and Angela, and Gussie Finkel, who wants to make a splash with the basket.
Well, what a busy little brain it is.
Always working, Aunt Delia, always working.
You aren't the chump I took you for.
When did you take me for a chump?
Oh, sometime last summer. I can't remember what gave me the idea. I believe it would work.
Of
Tom
course
is
it would.
devoted to me.
Who wouldn't be?
I'll do it.
Good show. I believe it's time to dress for dinner, what?
Tally-ho. Here's a successful campaign.
long gowns upon the bending of my brows from down the lane, all Miss Smith, putting on the red. That's where each and every Lulu bell goes, every first evening when the swell was rubbing elbows. Come with me and we'll attend the jubilee and see the splendor of the bed, putting on the red.
Anatole, you truly are the master of your craft. What, Gussie?
Oh, I like your nerve, but sitting around saying, what, oh, Gussie? It's about all the what, oh, Gussie I'll have from you. Oh, don't look like that. You know what I mean. This blasted prize-giving.
Oh,
it was a dastardly act for you to crawl out and leave it on me. I will not mince my words, Bertram Wooster. It was the act of a hound and a stinker.
Gussie, I took it for granted that you would understand that it was all part of my scheme.
Oh, you and your schemes can take a flying leap.
No, but don't you see what this is going to do for you? It will send your stock up with a jump. Madeline Bassett will see you in an entirely new light.
She will she?
She will. Augustus Finkel, the dog's chiropodist, she knows. Augustus Finkel, the newt fancier, she is acquainted with. But Augustus Finkel, the orator, that'll knock her sideways, or I know nothing of the female heart. Girls go potty over a public man.
Well, you may be right. Possibly I'm letting it prey on my mind too much, and perhaps I am maybe wrong in supposing it to fate worse than death, but it is extremely hard to face the prospect of this prize giving on the 31st on an empty stomach.
Yes, I noticed you going light on dinner tonight. Splendid.
Oh, I don't see what's splendid about it. I'll never be able to get the courage up to ask Madeline to marry me. I wouldn't be able to do that if I lived on wafer biscuits for the rest of my life.
But dash it all, Gussie, these romantic surroundings, I should have thought the whispering
Oh, I
trees
know
alone.
what you would have thought, but it's no use. She seems so aloof, so remote.
No, she doesn't.
I tell you she does. Especially when you see her sideways. Have you ever seen her sideways, Bertie? That cold, pure profile? It takes all the heart out of me.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, I tell you it does. Every time I see it, the words freeze in my throat.
Well then, there's only one thing for it. She must be softened up.
Be what?
Softened up. Sweetened. Worked on. Preliminary spade work put in. I shall drag in the basket and speak to her of hearts that yearn, intimating that there is one actually on the premises. I shall pitch it strong, sparing no effort. You, in the meanwhile, will lurk on the outskirts, and when her emotions have been stirred, you can come in and do the rest on your head.
Oh, I see, so you'll sort of pave the way, as it were.
Exactly. Preliminary spin.
Well, that's a terrific idea, Bertie.
Yes, but you must remember, Gussie, that you must do your part, or else my work will have been in vain.
Oh, yes. What am I supposed to say?
Well, dash, Gussie, there are hundreds of things you could talk about. Talk to her about the sunset.
The sunset?
Yes, the sunset. Half the merry men you meet started by talking about the sunset. You can then tell her that you've often thought that the stars are God's daisy chain.
But I haven't.
No, I dare say you haven't, but she has. And to that one, and I don't see how she can help but feel that you two are twin souls.
God's daisy chain?
God's daisy chain. And then you can tell her that twilight makes you sad. I know you're going to say it doesn't, but for this occasion it jolly well has to.
Why?
That's exactly what she will ask. That way you can respond that it is because twilight always makes you sad, because yours is such a lonely one. It wouldn't be a bad idea to give her a typical home evening in Lincolnshire, showing how you pace the meadows with a heavy tread.
But Bertie, I generally sit at home and listen to the wildness.
No, you don't. You pace the meadows with a heavy tread, wishing you had someone to love you. Then you speak of the day that she came into your life.
Like a fairy princess.
Like a fairy princess! Well done!
And then?
Well, then you tell her you have something to say to her and snap into it. Well, you'd better have a couple of quick ones first.
Quick one?
The sniffers.
Oh, you mean drinks? But I don't drink, Bertie.
What?
I've never had a drop in my life.
Well, then you'll have to do the thing on ginger pop.
No, I don't like ginger pop. See, I generally drink orange juice.
Oh, orange juice then, yes.
Right, well, I'll hide over here then, shall I?
Quite. I'll go get that one.
Bertie.
Yes?
Good luck. Try not to look at you sideways.
Lovely evening, isn't it?
Yes, lovely.
It reminds me of Cannes.
How lovely the evenings were there.
Yes, lovely.
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 Oh, don't you just love these lilac bushes?
Yes.
I certainly do. They're lovely. Oh, look.
Yes.
Look at that sweet little star up there all by itself. I wonder if it feels lonely.
Oh, I shouldn't think so.
The fairy must have been crying.
Huh?
Every time a fairy sheds a tear, a wee star is born in the Milky Way. Have you ever thought that, Mr. Worcester?
I say, talking of shedding tears.
Oh, look at the little bunnies!
Talking of shedding tears.
Don't you just love this time of evening, Mr. Worcester? When the sun has gone to bed and all the little bunnies come out and have their little suppers? When I was a child, I used to think that rabbits were gnomes, and that if I held my breath and stayed quite still, I should see the fairy queen.
Talking of shedding tears, it may interest you to learn that there is an aching heart in Brickley Court.
Ah, yes. Life is very sad, isn't it?
It is for some people. This aching heart, for instance.
Those wistful eyes of hers, and they used to dance like elves at delight, all through a foolish misunderstanding about a shark. What a tragedy misunderstandings are. That pretty romance broken and over, all because Mr. Glossop would insist that it was a flatfish.
Yes, but I'm not talking about Ansel.
Somebody else. Mr. Glossop's, you mean?
No, this aching heart I'm talking about is aching for a different reason altogether. I mean to say, Dash, you know why hearts ache.
You mean for love?
Yes, yes.
Oh, Mr. Worcester.
I take it you believe in love at first sight?
I do indeed.
Well, that's what happened to its aching heart. It fell in love at first sight, and since then it's been eating itself out, as the expression is. For you, I mean to say.
Oh, Mr. Worcester.
It's having the dickens of a kind. Can't eat, can't sleep, all for love of you. What makes it so particularly rotten is that this aching heart can't bring itself up to scratch and tell you the position of affairs because your profile has gone and given it cold feet. Silly, you know, but there it is.
Please don't say any more, Mr. Worcester.
I wasn't going.
I understand.
Good, I'm glad to hear.
Yes, I understand. I would be so silly as to pretend not to know what you mean. I suspected this at Cannes, when you used to stare at me without speaking a word, but with whole volumes in your eyes. Yes, all through those days at Cannes, I could see what you were trying to say. A girl always knows. And then you followed me down here, and there was that same dumb, yearning expression in your eyes. And now you stammer out these halting words. No, this does not come as a surprise. But I am sorry. I'm afraid it isn't possible.
Oh, right now.
I'm sorry.
No, don't bother.
We can still be friends. Then shall we just say no more about it and keep what has happened as a tender little secret between ourselves?
Yes, absolutely.
We will, like something lovely and fragrant laid away in lavender.
In lavender.
I wish that I could feel towards you as you would like me to feel.
Oh,
Because I am fond of you, Mr. No, I think I must call you Bertie. May I?
Rather.
I mean, we are real friends.
Yes.
I do like you, Bertie. If things were different, I wonder.
Huh?
I mean, we are real friends. We have this common memory. I don't want you to think I have a right to know. Life is such a muddle, isn't it?
You mean there's somebody else? You're in love with someone of them. Engaged, are you?
No, not engaged. I'm afraid he doesn't care for me in that way. At least he said nothing. It's odd that you should have asked me if I believed in love at first sight. Whoever loved that loved not at first sight. Silly little story, really. I was staying with some friends in the country and had gone for a walk with my dog. And the poor wee mite got a nasty thorn in his little foot, and I didn't know what to do. Suddenly this man came.
Aha!
I beg your pardon?
Oh, no, nothing. I just remember there's a letter I have to write without fail. So if you don't mind, I'll be going upstairs. Oh, look! Here's Gussie Fingal!
Would you care to go for a stroll?
Well, Tuppy?
How do you mean, well?
Make your report.
What report?
Haven't got something to tell me about Angela?
Only that she's a blister.
But hasn't she come clustering around you yet?
She is not.
She must have noticed your lack of appetite.
Lack of appetite! I'm as hollow as the Grand Canyon!
But she must have noticed. The way you refused those nonettes de poulet d'Agnès Sorel. It was a sensational refusal and stuck out like a sore plum. And then the crêpe de la Rossini.
Oh, would you stop it, Bertie? You think I'm made of marble? Isn't it bad enough after all one of Anatole's supremest dinners split by a course of the course? Without you having to go make a song about it?
Courage, Tuppy. Fix your thoughts on that cold steak and kidney pie. As the good book says, it cometh in the morning.
Yeah.